What's up, guys? It is Tuesday, February 26th. We got a little baby 3-game slate here tonight. It's been a while since I put out a video. If you haven't seen the updates, I've been doing write-ups on Instagram on a daily basis. So follow me at the DFS Picks on both Instagram and Twitter. So when I don't throw up a video, when I don't have time to get a video up and record, I'll always throw some kind of write-up for the Core 4 on there. So check that out. If you don't see a video from me up here, it'll definitely be on there. So we'll get into this little slate here tonight. Before we start, if you haven't already, hit the subscribe button, hit the bell so you get alerts on when I do post on here, put up new content on YouTube, and then if you like the content, throw a thumbs up. All right, so 3 games tonight. The game that I'm going to be mostly targeting is going to be the Denver OKC game. Let's take a look at that. It is the closest game and the highest scoring game by Vegas, so it only makes sense to really target this game. Now, if you're looking at the top 5 guys in here, the guy that I'm going to be looking at mostly is going to be Russ. Westbrook is just killing it recently. His usage is up about 5 points to about 36% over the last 4 or 5 games. So he's not in the best spot. Jamal Murray isn't a terrible defender, but I do all the usage and everything's going over to Westbrook. Earlier in the season, it was Paul George that was getting a lot of the looks. Russ was kind of giving up the ball to him, acquiescing to him for most of the game until it came down to the wire. But now Russ is doing all the ancillaries and taking more control with the ball, so he'll have all the opportunity to get in. I could understand if you want to go down to, say, Kyrie. He gets up for these nationally televised games. That's going to be on TNT tonight. And he's, in 3 games, I think he's averaged something like 50-something. I'd have to look at it again. But he's had a good average against Toronto so far this season. So I could see that getting away from Westbrook if you want to be different, maybe in GPPs. But it's hard to get away from Westbrook in cash. So that's the first guy that I'm looking at, and the kind of the premise that I want to go to with these picks is under the guise of the mid tier isn't that great tonight. There are a couple pieces, but it's not that great. I would rather pick up 2 of the upper echelon guys, like a Russ and a Kyrie, or Jokic, or something like that. So I'm going to just get out a couple value plays, even though they're not the games that I want to see. So we'll go to the Orlando-New York game, and we'll go right down at point guard to DJ Augustine. And if you look at his game log, 3 games, his price keeps going down. It's gone down 300 since he played in Charlotte, and at this price, he's cashed in the last 3. So he's in a good spot also, not necessarily on the road, but he's going up against New York. They give up a lot of points to point guards, and Smith and Moutier just aren't very good defenders. Trier plays some at the point, not a good defender either. So Augustine should have a good chance of hitting 6x at this price. He had a great game against Toronto back a few days ago, so he's only getting better. And as long as he hits the kind of upper 20s, around 30-minute mark, he has such a high floor, it's hard to go away from him. The other way you can go with this game is Isaiah Briscoe is out for, I believe he's still out for tonight. Let's make sure. Yeah, he's still out. So he's in concussion protocol. So the look for me, I probably wouldn't hit this, but if you need some lower end value, would be go to Jerian Grant. And he had a really good game against Toronto as well. And he'll be playing against Moutier and Trier for the most part. So I mean, I like. I wouldn't go there unless I needed some salary relief, but that would probably be the first guy if I needed something under 4K that I would go to. So, but I'm not necessarily picking him for my core. So we're gonna go. Let's get those. Let's get Augustine on there. And the other guy from this game is Damian Dotson. So his price tag really hasn't changed in the last couple games. At the low, it was 3,600, but for most of the season, he's been right around 4K. It's a little bit up, but the way that he's playing and the way that he's shooting, it warrants being higher. It's too cheap for him right now. He's getting a lot of run. He's got 37 minutes the last game, 34 the game before. And he's getting a lot of shots. I mean, look at that, 17, 16, 11, 16 shots. In the last 4 games, he's putting up a lot, and he's shooting a lot of threes, and he's hitting them. 8 for 13, 5 of 9. So if he's hot, he has such a high upside. And I played him on Sunday, and he had just a great game at this low price tag. So it's a low risk, high reward kind of play. And I like him, especially if it means getting up to these, getting a second stud in the lineup. Last pick, excuse me. Last pick is going to be a power forward. We're going to go down to Paul Millsap. So Millsap has been just crushing it recently. And without Lyles backing him up, he's gotten a lot more minutes, right? So he's been out 3 games. The 3 games that Lyles has been out, 31 minutes, 32 minutes, 32 minutes. He should see low 30s in minutes, and he's getting in a good matchup in a game that we want. He's going to get at least, I would think, at least 1.5 per fantasy points per minute. So I like where he's at in this spot right here. Not necessarily the price tag at 6,200, but he's been playing. Look at that, 55.5, 45, 52 fantasy points. The way that he's playing, he should be able to eclipse that pretty easily. So I like him right here. And with those 4, you still have $6,000 per spot for the remaining 4 spots. So if you want to bump up, let's just throw Kyrie in there, for example. And I think Kyrie's going to be low owned just because of everyone's going to flow over to the OKC Denver game and go probably Westbrook George. But even if you do that and throw Kyrie in there, you still have a little over $5,000, and there are plays out there right now, even before injury news comes out, that you could hit and still stay under the cap. With injury news coming out, probably not going to be a lot. It's probably going to be a lot like Sunday, where there's maybe 1 piece of news coming out. But even that 1 piece of news could get someone in there at sub 4K that would get you to feel more comfortable about the lineup, about getting a couple of studs in there. One thing that I do want to say is right now, the way that I'm looking at, let's go back to the top 4 guys. The way that I'm looking at the top 4, Westbrook is my number 1. Close behind are Jokic and Vucevic. Jokic I like just because of the spot. He had a triple-double the last time that they played in Denver, but had a really bad game when they played in OKC. So it's kind of double-edged sword with him. He hasn't been playing well. Not well, but not up to what we think of when we think of Jokic in a smash spot. So Vucevic, on the other hand, there's going to be no DeAndre Jordan in New York, so he's going to be going against Mitchell Robinson. He's going to be going up against Vonleh or Cornette. So he's going to be going up against guys that aren't nearly as good as he is, aren't great defenders. So they're close second to these guys. So it's all going to depend on who I play and who I put out for this evening's premium content. It's going to depend on what kind of injury news comes out tonight and who ends up starting in that game. So that's all I have for you guys today. If you want more and get into the premium content, things have been on a roll lately. Just been hitting fire after fire nights. Shoot me a message. It's $10 for the week, $30 for the month. It's a full lineup, not a skeleton, not anything else. I'm going to start doing write-ups soon along with the lineup. So if you want to do pivots, you can see where I'm going with pivots and what I recommend if you want to go off a guy and go on to someone else. But that should be up soon. But right now, it's just full lineups. Just been cashing like crazy lately. So $10 a week, $30 for the month. Message me on Instagram or Twitter at the DFS Picks. Shoot me a comment or question on here if you have them. Just shoot that down below in the comment section. If you have any suggestions on what you think I should add, any kind of feedback is always appreciated. But that's all I have for you guys today. Thank you. Have a good day, guys.